Let me inspire you with my wholesaling story so you don't have to suffer being a broke wholesaler. Guys, my name is Rick and I've been wholesaling for 23 years, and I want to share my story on how I got to wholesaling and teach you the lessons so you can learn and actually be a successful wholesaler. But before I do it, do me this one favor. Make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button so other people can find the truth out about wholesaling. So way back in 2003, when I was at the ripe old age of 33, I found wholesaling 100% by accident. Nobody marketed it for me. I didn't even know what it was. And you got to understand, we have to go back before then. And I want you to carefully hear the story. And if it connects with you, then I've done my job today. You see, my parents always told me, I came from a family of divorce, like most of us. And my father was out of my life early on, probably when I was like 12, 13. I was 12 years old. And my mom did the best she could raise me. And my father was still in my life, but he never really gave me any guidance. And the truth of the matter is I went through school. I love doing sports. I love competitive sports, but I never really grasped the function of our school system. And you got to understand, this is back in the 70s and 80s when I grew up. And the reality is, I never really felt like I fit in school. I actually enjoyed going to school. I enjoyed all my friends. I enjoyed the social part. But the reality is I didn't understand why we were taking these tests. All we did was memorize stuff and spit it back out. And whenever I asked a teacher, why do we have to learn like this? I was always sent to the office, and I was always in like detention, the whole 9 yards. And the reality is, what I learned is I quickly learned different than anybody else. And so I was at best an average student all through school. Somehow I got into college. Don't ask me how, because I think they'll take anybody's money. And the reality is college was even a worse experience for me. I could not understand, especially the marketing classes, because they'd only teach me about companies like IBM and Coca-Cola. They never taught small business, which was something I was always interested in. And so I never really paid attention. The only thing I paid attention to was my finance degree. I got a degree in finance because I was interested in money, because I've been broke my entire life. And if you're broke right now and you're under the age of 33, welcome to the club. And that's how I discovered wholesaling. You see, my father, the little guidance I got was to get a safe job, get a career, and that's how you get ahead in life. And I thought going to college and getting this degree was going to insulate me from, I guess, not being broke. I'm going to be honest with you. All those things I just described made me broke. And the only thing that actually saved my life was wholesaling. At 33, when Zach was 3 years old, my daughter was 1, I looked at my wife. I said, I can't do this anymore. I had a corporate sales job. I hated every day of it. We sold stuff that made absolutely no sense. We were pushed on big commissions, and the company just turned and burned people. I think we had a 98% turnover ratio. And I was the one guy that stuck with the company for 12 years. And honestly, I can't get that time back. And it took me 12 years to come to that decision to be a wholesaler. And what I want to get across to you right now is, if I can save you that 12 years of aggravation, 4 years of college, actually 5, if I'm being honest, all the stuff through grade school, shoot, I wish I got started early on in high school. Why? Because I would have got through the learning phase of wholesaling and I would have really hit it out of the park. And I tried to take the safe route, what we call the middle class. Guys, the middle class doesn't exist anymore. All the middle class means is you're a little bit better off than a poor person. I don't believe the middle class exists. I think it's all fake, because the minute you lose your job and your career, you are going to wind up in the poor class. And we have this illusion in the United States that the middle class is what we want to protect. Guys, middle is average. Think about it. Middle is average. Here's poor. Here's really wealthy people. You're middle class. Why do we accept on being average? I did not wake up till I was 33, and I went on a journey in wholesaling. And honestly, I was so excited. But here's what I really want you to understand. So if my stories resonated to you at this point, it doesn't stop there. You see, what that 12 years formulated for me was a belief. And I have to try everything before I make a decision on it. I can tell you this. I've tried the college. I've tried the corporate career, everything. It doesn't work. It's all set up so you fail. It basically enslaves you as a taxpayer and you have no options. And this is why people are miserable and they do things to harm their body. They're addicted to just about everything in life, from their phones to drugs to alcohol. And I'm telling you, I get it. I've been there. It sucks. Wholesaling was my absolute escape. So I found wholesaling. I had a belief. And here's the difference, guys. I want you to clearly understand this. I had a ride or die moment. I told my wife, I'm going all in doing this. I didn't even quit my corporate job. Why? Because I couldn't pay my bills without it. And I got so sick and tired of just trying to pay bills and get by that I leaped in with wholesaling. Now, I've already told you I have ADHD. It was a big challenge I had all throughout school, and I didn't understand it. They just called you hyperactive back then. But what wound up being a curse is my absolute blessing. You see, every teacher told me, you're never going to get a good job. They were right. And I actually see the blessing in it right now that I've stepped back and take this stoic approach to it. I was never meant to be average. I was never meant to be the middle class. My family deserves better and you deserve better. And that's why I'm giving you this video. So I got into wholesaling. So, okay, Rick, how did you do it? I started out broke. I mean, beyond broke. And I gotta tell you, broke is one of the best motivators because you can only go up, and up I went. But I went into it, and here's what I did, guys. You ready for the big secret? My belief was so strong to give my family the life they absolutely deserved. The monkey was going on my back to fix this problem. I knew wholesaling was the way. I just had to figure it out. How did I do it? I went crazy. Meaning I took more action than education. Did you hear that? I took more action than education. I took a little education and a ton of action. But the problem in today is most broke wholesalers take very little action and they take way too much information. They take courses, they take trainings. You guys are seminared to death. We're all tired of the webinars. And here we are today. Let's take a look at it. And today we have more information and education than ever, but more people complain how they're not successful in wholesaling. And I want you to understand, for 7 years, all I did was grind it out all by myself. I did it with a phone, basic computer, no fancy CRM, and I just went to town, period. I took tons of action. I made a ton of mistakes. I wrote bad contracts. I had to get out of contracts all the time, but I learned and I progressed. But I embraced the suck of learning how to do wholesaling. You know why? My belief was so strong. I had my son to take care of. I had my daughter to take care of. I had my wife looking at me like, what are you, crazy? You left your corporate job, but she believed in me. And that's the difference. And all I did was go out and I found motivated sellers that need to sell their property off market, direct to seller. And I just kept doing it over and over. And at first I thought I was getting lucky. But I learned luck is this amazing thing, is when you prepare yourself and you take an incredible amount of action, you can't help but get lucky in wholesaling. You don't do that, you'll be a broke wholesaler. You see, I didn't buy a course. I didn't have somebody hold my hand. Guys, I just went out and found people in foreclosure. It was really simple. Knocked on the door and I had a discussion with them. And I learned quickly that if I can connect with people by building rapport and find a commonality, just like you do with your friends, just like you do with your family. And then I could demonstrate my trustworthiness by actually helping them, guiding in wholesaling. I instantly fixed my broke problem. In fact, I created such a massive problem. I made so much money, I let my ego get in the way. And that's the second part of this lesson is once I learned how to make the money, which you will in wholesaling, I'm going to create another problem for you. Not only are you not going to be broke, you'll make so much money, you're going to have to figure out how to manage your money, and you're either going to reward it or it's going to penalize you. And my ego got in the way. And then I had to learn that I had to take that cash and buy investments to take care of my family, the people I love the most, and to get the ultimate freedom I want in life. You see, wholesaling is a job. I don't even hide it from anybody. It's a job. You got to go to work every day. But once you get that cash, you pay your bills and you dig yourself out of debt. You've got to take that surplus cash and you've got to make investments. Make investments in assets that will pay you in case you ever become disabled, to take care of your family, take care of elderly parents. And guys, you're talking about a guy who ran up all his credit card balances, always had a mortgage. I don't have any of that right now. I don't carry debt. I only carry debt on things that pay me forward. And once I earned that money, I had a lot of it taken away. And then I learned on how to invest in myself and how to invest in assets to pay me for the rest of the life. So if I ever don't want to work or do anything anymore, but like I don't see doing it because wholesaling, like we don't retire. Remember, we are not the middle class. The middle class works till they're 67 or 69 or whatever the new age they're going to push for it. And then you depend on your 401k. Once again, you just gave your money to somebody else, hoped it comes back. It triples in size, whatever it is. You pay your fees and you feel like you had no control over it. Guys, those days are over in wholesaling. I hope my story like wakes you up and lets you understand if I can do it, a guy with like a 2.5, maybe a 2.6 GPA that barely got a 700 on his SATs. I've learned the smartest people rarely make the most money. In fact, it's the people that take bold, decisive actions that execute. They're the ones that always make the most money. And then they have the smartest people that work for them. You've been lied to your entire life about the smartest people always make the most out of life. No, they become the best middle class people you know. And if you don't want to be average and you don't want to be broke, figure out if wholesaling is your way. Let me ask you this. What is your ride or die moment? I know mine was in 2003, I was 33, in over my head in debt, maxed out house on a mortgage, maxed out credit cards. I just didn't see how I was going to survive. And I didn't understand how to make more money, how to make investments, and how to make things better for my family. And I decided to take that chip on the back of my shoulder and run with it. You see, a lot of you guys have backup plans there. You try wholesaling. I already know your why is not strong enough. And listen, once you get your why, write it on your bathroom mirror. You better have conviction. And conviction is that armored suit that goes around your belief, which is most likely going to be your family and your loved ones. And when people shoot arrows at you and they stab you in the back with all this stuff, if your conviction's not strong, you're going to cave because you're so concerned what everybody thinks about you. Listen, I'm not here to get like ticked off about it. I'm here to inspire you. Wholesaling's changed my life. It's changed my family's life. You guys know my son's story. And guys, if I can teach a 16-year-old kid how to get started in wholesaling while he's in high school, what's your excuse? I waited till I was 33. I bought all the crap that's ever been sold to me my entire life. And I decided to make a decision and change the projection of my entire family's life. You have to have that ride or die moment. If your why is big enough and you know how to wrap it in conviction, wholesaling is just a matter of time before you hit it out of the park. And guys, listen, if you're broke, in my opinion, is one of the biggest motivators to get started in wholesaling. If you want to learn how to really jumpstart and get started in wholesaling right now and you're broke, go over to freewholesaling.com. Guess what? If you got $5 million, still go over to freewholesaling.com because wholesaling doesn't care how much money you have. It only cares how much action and how great of an executor you are. If you really want to learn how to do this, go over to freewholesaling.com. Get started. Guys, I waited till I was 33, man. Take the cue from me. I had to figure it out my 33 years of my life before I was actually going to make a move and make a difference in my family life. If I can catch anyone before that age, or guys, listen, I don't even care if you're 80 or 90. Just use your brain, take the action, go out, market, find motivated sellers, people that need to sell their house and help them solve a problem and basically sell your contract to cash buyers and do it over and over again. Guys, there's over 330 million people in the United States. There's more than enough opportunity out there. Anyone who says otherwise is just a whiner and a complainer, and they're probably a broke wholesaler. I hope my story's inspired you because God knows if Rick Ginn can do it. In my opinion, it is available to anybody that wants to take it. How bad do you want it? What is your ride and die moment? Put it in the comments. And guys, if you got value from this video, do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button so other people can find the truth out about wholesaling.